This one, guys. You probably already know by now, but Andre, who
I
everyone
guess?
knows as 1Stock F30, has passed away. And 1Stock F30 was a legendary street racer from New York City, which is where I'm from, who made cars like the one I have, cars with the B58 engines, insanely popular, and put these BMWs on the map. Now, there's a lot of crazy information out there. The internet's doing its thing.
So how
There's
did
a
he
lot of
die?
misinformation
He
going
just
around as to
crashed?
how he passed, what happened, what didn't happen. But I'm going to clear that up and talk about all that in this video because there's a lot of misinformation out there as to what actually happened. And we'll also talk about his legacy and everything that he did for the car community because trust me, there's a lot. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan. This is Gears and Gains. I make all types of videos on this BMW M340 right back here. 1Stock F30 was racing a Mustang and crashed going over 160 miles per hour, supposedly. And no one knows exactly how fast he was going, but it had to be at least over 160. He was unfortunately ejected from the car, and you know the rest. You've probably seen all the pictures and videos circulating on the internet, and I'm not going to post them here because one, I think that's disrespectful, but two, I also don't want this video to get taken down. But he was driving his M240, and this wasn't the first time that he crashed. The first time was a few months ago at a track, which totaled his first M240, so this one was his second M240. And that thing had easily over 1,200 horsepower, maybe even 1,500 horsepower to the wheel. I think right now we've got to give him the respect that he deserves.
Bro was driving for 140? Damn.
Horsepower, maybe even 1,500 horsepower to the wheel. I think right now we've got to give him the respect that he deserves. Whatever you feel about him, obviously street racing is not legal. If you like him or you don't, this is somebody who influenced the car community in more ways than we can even imagine. And I think we all need to respect that and even more so acknowledge everything that he's done. There's a lot of information out there as to what actually happened, and everyone likes to point fingers. When something bad happens, people like to find blame and point it at this guy or that guy, or even blame him for doing something wrong or not doing something that he should have done. The fact of the matter is that this was not something that could have been prevented. It just happened. Now, I'll be the first to say it. I wasn't there, so I can't give an eyewitness account as to what actually happened. According to what people are saying, the official story is that while he was racing, he blew a head gasket or he blew something in his engine. And either oil or coolant got on his tires, and that's what made him slip out and ultimately crash. There's a lot of misinformation and people saying, oh, there was something in his lane, there was a puddle, there was whatever, because they see a dark spot in some of the videos. But bro, that's just the way the streets in New York are. And actually, I'm gonna show you right now. I'm walking over to show you because all the streets in New York look like this. Just look at this. Every street in New York looks like this. These are just tar marks, fillings for potholes, but nobody knows what really happened because we weren't there. We weren't in the car with him. All we know is that the legacy that this man had on the car community is never going to be forgotten. So this isn't the first time that he's crashed. If you follow him closely like I do, I mean, I'm from New York. I have a B58 engine. My entire YouTube channel is built off of just building this car. So I watch him all the time, and I've met him a bunch of times at car meets, car shows, and I also live close by to the area where he's from. This isn't the first time that he crashed. His first M240, he crashed at the track, which is crazy to me because I'm thinking now that that was a
how you like crashing the car is like, isn't it? I don't expect it to be safe, but nigga, damn. And yo, I would never race. I would never street race, nothing in my life, cause I know I'm gonna be panicking. First of all, like I like to drive a car, but super fast. Like, bro, if the car could go 100 miles under 10 seconds, oh hell no, nigga. Is there cars like that? What type of car could go 100 miles under 10 seconds?
Surface. A prepped track is way stickier than just a regular track or something like the street. With the street, you have years of just road debris and dirt built up on top, so it's a lot more slippery than an actual prepped sticky track surface. But he crashed his first M240 in like fourth gear or something, going like maybe 140. And obviously there was barriers on there, so he just slammed into the barrier and completely totaled the car. But these B58 engines, man, they're really no joke. And a lot of people don't understand just how crazy they are when you build them up to that point. My car, my M340, is just full bolt-ons. It just has regular stuff like an E50 tune, and even though I'm on not so great tires, I still spin all four wheels whenever I launch this thing. It's because of the insane torques that these cars have. I have 500 horsepower, but I'm pushing like 600 plus torque. So even though it's all-wheel drive, it's still very prone to spinning tires. That's kind of just what happened to him the first time. He went into the next gear, he started to spin tires, and on a prep surface with drag tires, on a track, he crashed. And this man is a professional at what he does. His experience, he's been doing this for so long. And it's really crazy to me that cars like this, a lot of young people, like 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, are getting it for cars like their first car. Now any teenagers getting their hands on a car like this with 500 horsepower to the wheel. I've seen 16-year-olds with BMW M3s, M4s, and fully modded big turbo M340s. It's just
because how the hell y'all getting these type of cars? Nigga, when I was 17, I got my first car, and I got a damn somewhat SUV. Now I got a whole Toyota. How the hell y'all getting these Hellcats, Chargers? Save up for that, bro, nigga. I never thought about saving up for an expensive ass car, and from now I do. But
It's
like,
insane, and we have to remember that we are mortal. We are not invincible. And that's just a message to most people who own these cars. This man knew what he was doing. He knew that there was a risk involved in street racing. And really, every time we get behind the wheel of a powerful car, let alone just a car in general, there is a risk involved. People are saying he should have had a roll cage or a helmet or a seatbelt on. But if you saw those pictures, even with all of that, I don't know if there was any surviving that. It's just something that happened. We shouldn't put the blame on him or on anybody. And I had a whole video planned on my M340 today talking about everything that I wanted to do to it in the future. But I think this needed to be spoken about because there's so much misinformation out there that's really just bothering me. And I didn't know him personally, but I'm from New York and I know so many people who are very close to him. In the BMW community, the B58 community, I know so many people around here. And he was an inspiration to all of us. This man single-handedly made so many people, made the entire city of New York buy BMW. He's the reason why everyone wanted a 340. I wouldn't have this car, I wouldn't have this YouTube channel, I wouldn't have my Instagram.
This looks like a nice car though, I'm not gonna lie. This looks like a nice car. Like, I hate small cars. Cause I'm like, bro, if I'm driving a small car and I get in a car accident, I'm dead. Cause that pressure, I love the body. Oh God, the body's sexy. Oh God, the body's sexy. Look at the rims.
Instagram page if it wasn't for people like 1Stock. But bro, this man is
not okay. When I meant small car, I'm talking about, you know, Ferrari, small, like Ferrari, like they're small. You could like, they're like two doors small. I'm talking about that type of small. And like, you can't even, like, only fit for a specific person.
The reason why everyone loves modifying and tuning BMW. And not only the B58 community, but the Daza community too. People weren't taking BMW seriously in the racing community, and he put them on the map. Because he's done so much, and without him, people like me, people like probably you, wouldn't be watching this channel, wouldn't even be car enthusiasts. His first M240 was an 8-second car. His second M240 was a 7-second car. This man needed a roll cage. Yes, I'll acknowledge that. Everyone's acknowledging that. But who knows if it would have made a difference in the situation that happened. I mean, if you didn't know, roll cages are illegal here in the US. You can obviously get one built in aftermarket, but you can't get one from the factory on high performance cars.
What is a roll cages? Monty had my singing inside.
Another thing we can talk about is that here in the Northeast, there is no tracks. None. There's no racing track. Every single track that we have here, within even 3 hours of New York, is gone. There is just nowhere for somebody who actually wants to do this hobby to actually do it safely and in a controlled environment. And I know the police, maybe even the state governments, are going to use this because it's such a big situation to only put further restrictions on racing. So yes, street racing is illegal, and I don't condone all of those actions. But there is literally nowhere for somebody who wants to do this kind of thing legally and safely to go to and to actually do it. So there's a little clarification as to what actually happened in this situation when the crash actually occurred. So originally a lot of people were saying that he was not wearing a seatbelt, but in fact his team has confirmed that he was wearing a seatbelt. He also did have a helmet on and a fire suppression system built into the car. Obviously the big thing that everyone is saying is the roll cage. Like I said before, I don't think that the roll cage really would have saved him in this situation. If you look at a lot of the pictures of the car on the internet, you would see that the car is in horrible condition. I really don't think that a roll cage would have saved him in this situation, but really it doesn't matter because it's done and over with. We can't control what happened in the past, we can only control where we go from here and what happens in the future. But one big thing that I forgot to mention that I think has to be spoken about is just the way people drive in New York. Everyone wants to be a street racer, everyone wants to be squeeze bends and cut up in between traffic. I made a video on this about 2 weeks ago about insurance rates skyrocketing in New York City, and this is the exact reason why that's happening. So many people are getting into these cars. We spoke about 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds getting these cars for their first cars. It's so easy to modify them with a downpipe and an ECU tune. We all know the story. But inexperienced people are getting their hands on really fast cars, and they're crashing them at rates higher than we've ever seen before. I think it's time that everyone calms down. The swimming in the highway, the cutting between traffic, street racing, takeovers, everything, it's just not worth it. I mean, we lost one of the biggest guys in the car community because of something like this, and we're only going to continue to lose people in the future unless something changes. I'm not putting the blame on anybody. I don't think anybody should be blamed for this. But if anybody is to blame, it's just social media, because everyone's always trying to one-up each other. Social media single-handedly has contributed greatly to the downfall of the car community. We all know this. But something in the community has to change so we don't keep losing people. Because 1Stock F30 is just the tip of the iceberg. We lose people every single day to activities like this. No names, people that you don't even know exist. Every single day I wake up and I see that there was some crazy crash on the highway. And the thing is that it's not just New York, it's everywhere, bro. We are losing people.
Hold on, let me react to what she said. Go.
I'm going to first service